Most, if not all, people contribute to climate change, whether it's in small or big increments. Starting with driving to buying meat processed in factories are ways where climate change can be increased in small increments. So, climate change affects everybody and does not discriminate. Species go endangered, coral reefs die, and climate change is happening right here and right now. From rising temperatures and levels of water to increased hunger in human population and species going extinct are some ways where climate change will be a problem in the future. So one of the effects of climate change would be rising temperatures and levels of water. So first you'll need to know how the water rises. In a website created by NASA, it says that water from melted ice and increased temperatures adds to the rising levels of water. And in the graph here, it shows the rising levels of water throughout the years. Next, you'll need to know how the temperature rises. So, oceans absorb greenhouse gases, and these greenhouse gases are emitted by factories and automobiles. And why this is bad is because in an article written by Mark Spalding and Barbara Brown, they said that coral reefs are disappearing. And how this is happening is by bleaching, where coral reefs die or become pale. And in the picture right here, it shows that coral reefs are very colorful, but after the bleaching period, they turn pale or they just die off. And the survivors of these bleaching periods might end up with defects and they could end up affecting the other corals. So, not only does greenhouse gases make temperatures rise, they also increase the pH levels, which also causes defects in the coral. Now that you know how climate change affects water, we can focus on hunger. And the next effect climate change has is the increase in hunger. So first you'll need to know how the hunger starts. So extreme weather occurs due to the climate change, and NASA said that hurricanes, droughts, heat waves, etc. will occur, thus destroying lands, as seen right here. So without land, farmers won't be able to create food. And in an article written by Marco Springman, he said that the effects on food supply and food security could be one of the most important consequences of climate change. So next you'll need to know how this could be a larger problem. So Marco Springman also says that the food prices go up because there's a lack of food, which makes people eat in smaller portions. But when people eat in smaller portions, they tend to grow hungrier. And less food could mean the lack of dietary needs. And Marco Springman uses a chart that shows the change in consumption or smaller portions would be would increase the change in deaths. And because there's a lack of dietary needs, there will also be an increase in diseases. And Springman said that 155 regions could have health risks related to these diseases in 2050. Now that you know how hunger could have an issue, you will need to know how extinctions will occur. So extinctions would be an outcome of climate change, and coral reefs are disappearing and species are going extinct. But coral reefs aren't just habitats. In the book Saving a Million Species, it says that coral reefs are also species and aren't just habitats, and they could go extinct too. And because coral reefs are gone or disappearing, the species living in them would need a new home. And in the same book, Saving a Million Species, it says that coral reefs are homes to as many as 3 million species. And next, you need to know how the extinctions will occur on land. So, dry periods of time caused by climate change will lead to extinctions. In the book, Saving a Million Species, the golden toad and the harlequin frog extinctions occur immediately following dry years. So, which means that these animals couldn't adapt fast enough to the rapid change in temperature fast enough to survive. Next, you will need to know the future extinctions, how future extinctions are likely to happen. Hannah and Lovejoy predict extinctions occur because of relationships. For example, the plant and herbivore relationship. When a plant goes extinct because of either extreme weather or rising temperatures, the herbivores eating those plants can't find substitutes fast enough in order to survive. So, in the future, climate change will raise the temperature of and levels of water, make species go extinct, and increase hunger, which will become a larger issue in the future. And in our lifetime, climate change shows us negative results and what is likely to happen if we don't do anything about it. And there are many ways to prevent climate change, but what are you going to do about it?